Hi, my name is Molly Riggs, and I am the author of Blue Ink, a literary fiction novel that explores the intersections of sexuality, addiction, and the effects of childhood trauma on adult relationships. I was inspired to write Blue Ink while taking a poetry class at the University of Northern Colorado. I noticed the budding friendship of two seemingly opposite English majors, and from their interaction, I developed my main characters, Charlie and Levi. Through Charlie and Levi's story, I address topics that are relevant to the college experience, including the exploration of sexuality and experimentation with drugs and alcohol. In this book, I try to approach these often avoided but ever-relevant topics in an honest way, even if it isn't always easy to stomach. As a recent college graduate myself, I know what it is to be young and trying to establish yourself away from your family and your past. It isn't always easy. Sometimes it involves sex. It can involve drugs and alcohol. And it definitely involves a lot of tears. My book is the same, and I think that my candid approach is what will make Blue Ink stand out. In this book, you will meet the character Charlie, who is trying to cope with the trauma of his childhood by keeping others at a distance. And then you have Levi, who is trying to get close to Charlie while struggling with addiction and also questioning his sexuality. One of the initial stories in Blue Ink involves a tab of acid and a thunderstorm. This is the story where Charlie and Levi first meet. Charlie is lying in the grass outside of the English building with the journal he's always writing in sitting beside him. Levi, tripping on acid, approaches him, and together they watch the dark clouds above them. Soon it starts to rain, and Levi's trip takes a bad turn when he realizes that Charlie's journal is being ruined. Charlie lets Levi write out his bad trip in his room, and the next day, Levi watches Charlie write over the ruined pages in new ink. This story marks the beginning of their friendship and is a catalyst for all of the twists and turns that follow. Again, my name is Molly Riggs, and my book, Blue Ink, is about the friendship between two college-age boys who lean on each other in the face of their own personal struggles. My hope for this book is that it serves as an honest portrayal of the new adult experience. I believe we can't just ignore the struggles of today's 20-somethings because they have been traditionally considered taboo. The Addiction Center found that college students are at the highest risk for substance abuse. And although the national average of LGBTQ+ identification sits around 4.5%, colleges are finding that upwards of 20% of their incoming freshmen identify as something other than heterosexual. Regarding the conversation around trauma, I am advocating against the suppression of trauma. I believe we need to recognize how our past can affect our present relationships in order to live with our trauma. You will enjoy Blue Ink if you are a fan of literary fiction books like Hanya Yanagihara's A Little Life or Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch, books that aren't afraid to be incredibly dark and unapologetically raw. If you are happiest when a book is making you cry, then Blue Ink is the book for you. My name is Molly Riggs, and I am the author of Blue Ink.